Hello, and welcome back to GetAITo from Synthminds Singapore, the podcast about when to use AI and when not to. I'm Chris.
And I'm Sorah. So Chris, last episode we explored how AI influencers are succeeding through radical transparency, being honest about what they are.
Right. And today we're applying that same transparency to the numbers, because here's what matters. Does the ROI actually justify the investment?
Let's find out. We've analyzed the data, and some of these numbers might surprise you.
I'm ready. Let's start with the investment side of the equation.
All right, let's start with that. The range is, actually pretty wild. On one hand, you have accessible platforms where you can start creating AI avatars for a relatively low monthly cost.
Right, we're talking less than a couple $100s to get your feet wet. But let's be real about the other end of the spectrum. A fully custom, hyper-realistic AI ambassador. That is going to be a significant upfront investment.
True. But, and this is the most critical mindset shift, you have to think about it as capital expenditure, not just a marketing operating expense. You're building a digital asset that doesn't age, doesn't sleep, and never demands a raise.
And once you own that asset, the efficiencies really kick in. Some studies show AI can reduce overall content creation costs by up to 30% and increase campaign efficiency by 20%.
Now let's connect that to tangible results. Take the Waverlin lead generation bot. Not exactly a glamorous influencer, but the numbers are powerful. It boosted consultations by 25% and increased visitor engagement ninefold.
Ninefold is incredible. And what about customer service? I heard the Ruby Labs bot saved them $30,000 a month by resolving 98% of chats without human help.
Those are huge utility wins. But what about top-of-funnel brand building? Calvin Klein's campaign with Lil Miquela saw a 60% increase in social media engagement.
But engagement is where it gets tricky. We talked about the engagement conversion gap last time. Virtual influencers can get up to 3 times higher engagement than humans.
But that doesn't always translate to sales. The research is clear that it's highly category dependent. For tech products or services, AI influencers can actually outperform humans on conversion. But for lifestyle or experiential products, that human touch is still hard to beat.
The economics really shift when you start talking about global scale. A human influencer strategy for multiple markets is complex and expensive.
Oh, absolutely. But a single AI persona can be programmed to speak dozens of languages and can be localized with incredible nuance. Look at Puma's virtual influencer Maya, who was created specifically for Southeast Asian markets.
Her face was literally built from millions of regional selfies, using AI to create a relatable look. And she achieved high initial engagement, promoting their sneakers right out of the gate.
Then you have someone like Immigram in Japan. She's worked with Porsche, Adidas, and even launched her own fashion line. An AI influencer became a brand creator. The future is definitely weird, Chris.
But it's not all seamless. We have to balance this with some reality checks. Not every venture succeeds.
You're thinking of Samsung's Neon project.
Yep. Unveiled at CES 2020 with massive hype. They promised artificial humans that could express emotion and have natural conversations.
And it just didn't deliver. The live demos couldn't match the marketing, and tech reporters called it overly ambitious. A classic case of overpromising on cutting-edge tech.
Okay, let's zoom out to the macro trends that businesses need to watch.
The growth numbers here are staggering. The virtual influencer market is projected to grow from about $6.1 billion in 2024 to, get this, $170.2 billion by 2034.
That's a compound annual growth rate of nearly 40%. It's an explosion.
And CMOs are responding. Reports suggest they might allocate up to 30% of their influencer budgets to virtual personas by 2026.
But here's the most critical insight for anyone listening. 75% of Gen Z are already engaged with virtual influencers. If that's your target demographic,
you literally can't afford to ignore this trend.
So, instead of a brand creating one AI influencer to represent them, some are using AI to empower their audience.
A great example is KFC's virtual Colonel Sanders campaign. They created a younger, hipster Colonel to parody influencer culture and connect with a Gen Z audience.
And it worked. The campaign went viral, generating over 151 million earned media impressions. It was humorous, self-aware, and incredibly effective.
It shows that the strategy doesn't always have to be hyper-realism. Sometimes creativity and humor are the real drivers of ROI.
So, what's the executive takeaway here?
3 things. First, The ROI is real, but it's category specific. Second, think long-term. This is about building assets, not just buying campaigns. And third, the biggest returns often come from global scalability.
And remember, with the market growing at 40% annually, this isn't a fad. It's a fundamental shift in marketing.
Want to see the data and case studies for yourself? Visit us at synthminds.com.sg for the full article.
To continue the conversation, find us on LinkedIn by clicking the link in the description.
We hope today's data helps you make your next strategic move. We'll see you on the next episode.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Sorah. Thanks for joining us on GetAITo.